All right, so let's go through today's trading recap. So we'll start with the stocks. Man, didn't have a really good day in the stocks today. So let's start. I like to, because I've been trading several at a time, I want to go ahead. We'll just go through the one where I had the biggest drawdown, which is going to be DPST, and the biggest winner, which is going to be AMAM. So I started off this morning. During the live show, I we entered on DPST. Okay, so the first buy came in around, I think it was 849, 850, something like that. So I put up some arrows here so you can kind of see some of the other tools that I look at. These are my own personal tools. What this is right here is this pattern is basically just a change of momentum. All right, so that's the first thing that I want to see. So I want to see that change momentum. Then what I do is I look for a pattern to get set up. If I get the momentum and I also get the pattern set up, then I will go ahead and I will place a trade. So we did get a pattern set up at 825. That's where I bought it at 825. And that came in around, what did I say, 849, 850. So we bought it at 825, okay? I had multiple levels up here that I was trying to hit. And I don't know why I didn't draw those in, but they were, I think it was 50. Then I had one, I think it's 72. Anyway, so as soon as I got in, it pulled back. We were still good. We were still getting buys. I didn't come down to hitting a stop or anything like that. But when it pulled down and started to come back up again, I went ahead and I added more at 819. Added more at 819. What I didn't like about this trade is I really thought it was going to take off and go higher. Now, DPST was not one that popped up on my scanner this morning. This is what I like to do is if we have prior stocks that have been moving over the last few days, I like to keep that on my radar because what you'll find is a lot of these stocks, when they start moving, I mean, they usually have 2, 3 good days. We can go in there and trade them. So when I saw that strength coming in, that's why I first initially jumped in on this DPST. So I added again at 819. What I didn't like is just going flat here. So as soon as we got back up here at 827, I just went ahead and got out. Made a teeny little bit there, but I picked up about 27. Picked about what 8 cents there. So overall, that was not a bad trade. So we started moving higher again. I really thought that we were going to take off and hit some of these. There's our levels. We were going to hit some of these other levels. So I went ahead and I got back in. We had another setup. So we had to change the momentum again. Still getting a pointing to the upside. We did get another pattern. Actually, we had 3 patterns setting up for buys. I went ahead and bought it again at 845. 845. And this thing, when it came back down here, I decided I was going to go ahead and add an additional one down here at 831. So I added again at 831. And when it came back up to my 845, wasn't really excited because I really thought once it hit this entry, we were going to just shoot back up, and then it pulled back really sharp. I said, I'm going to get out of it. I didn't see a lot of strength into it, even though I had 3 levels up here. I went ahead and I got out. So I lost a little bit here on the initial 845, but I picked it up when I added down here at 831, and I got out of here at 843. So we just picked up a little bit there. That's where I should have stopped because I was, I had a nice little profit on the stock, but then we kept going higher. So we hit these 3 levels. I had already gotten out of it. Then we pulled back. We started pulling back. And then I saw it coming back up again, okay? And this is what faked me out because I really thought that it hit the entry point, which is right above this first level back, several hours earlier. it hit level 2, and it just as soon as it hit this second level target, it pulled back right away. All right. And so I said, okay, it's going to pull back. It's probably going to go down here and find some support down here. So a lot of people like to watch and they trade around VWAP, and that's what VWAP is. So I figured, it's probably just going to come down the VWAP, and then it's going to start moving higher. So it was looking really good. Now I didn't add anything in here, okay, which probably wouldn't have been a bad idea, but I just didn't add any in here. And then when I thought it was starting to move back up, and I said, okay, yeah, I've got it. This thing's going to go up, and I'm going to get back up to these levels again. But no, it didn't happen. Came back down. I took an exit, 852, and that's what wiped me out, and that's what put me down $614 on DPST. So not a good day on DPST. The other one I traded this morning was on WEBL. We're not going to go through the charts, but WEBL, once again, faked me out. Took a loss at 258. Then after the live show, I got back into several more. I went ahead. I got back into 9. Didn't do good on 9. Got back in did some on RS. I was just not hitting. Everything that I was trying to get into would have an initial little spike, and then it would just fail or just go dead on me. All right. So I didn't, but I did pick up some on NYCB, IBIO. IBIO was a really, really nice mover. I should have added more on that, but I did not. I wish I would have, because it was kind of going up. It was just constantly making new highs. AMAM, that was not a stock that came up on my scanner, but that was one that had been in play last week. So once again, that's one of those that I like to go back and keep an eye on. So I jumped back into AMAM, and AMAM has always been good to me. So let's take a look at that chart real quick. All right, so here's AMAM. So I entered AMAM around 1129, 1130, something like that. Initial buy, 928. So I got a lot of buys of momentum shifts, constantly screaming that the market was going to go up, 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 up. I just don't just buy because we're seeing this shift in momentum. I have to have my pattern set up. I did get some pattern setting up, so I went ahead and I entered at 928. Entered at 928. Once again, look at this flush. It just flushed on me. So once again, I'm thinking just like I did on DPST. Well, it's just going to come down. It's going to hit VWAP. It's going to bounce. So it did, and then it had this really nice bounce. When I saw that bounce, I went ahead and I added again here. I added again around 1202. And then it finally came up and it hit. I had a couple levels sitting up here. All right. I had level 1 and level 2. You can see right here, it hit level 1. It had not gone to level 2. I was waiting to see if it would go to level 2. It failed, and we had this sharp down move. Once it bounced back up, I went ahead and I just took my profit here. Took my profit and got out. But still ended up making a nice profit because I had made it on my initial entry and I made it on my add-on. So once I hit, this, once it fell, then I was able to get out with a profit. Particularly after I just took that loss on DPST, I went ahead and got out, and so I made some nice money on EMAM. So overall, net of it, 7 stocks. Still down $692. So not a great day for me in stocks. All right. I've been struggling with the stocks. I got to be honest with you. I'm looking for a lot more follow through. So I'm going to have to change my strategy a little bit in here and probably start to chip out little pieces and not try to go for these higher levels right now. I think I'm just going to get into it and try to get out at these first levels and, and let it go at that. And so that's going to be kind of my game plan moving forward. Where I did make it today, once again, is I made it on the indices. So let's take a look at the indices. All right, let's see how we did today in the indices. So I traded natural gas. I traded the E-mini S&P. And I also traded the U.S. Tech. The U.S. Tech is going to be the mini Nasdaq, and the U.S. 500 is going to be the E-mini S&P. I use Nadex. All right, I trade through Nadex because I like their platform, but that's who I trade through. So, but before we get started, a little disclaimer, and then I want to talk about these numbers. First of all, understand that everything that I'm showing you here is for educational purposes only. I do not recommend anybody follow me blindly, okay? That is not a way to trade. The idea here is just to demonstrate the tools that I use and have been using for the last 35 years of my 40-year trading career, actually 42 now. And also keep in mind that trading is risky. Never trade with money you can't afford to lose. I see so many new traders come in. They think they're going to buy a system or they're going to get a tool and all of a sudden they're going to make millions of dollars. Folks, it doesn't work that way, all right? The absolute best tool out there is only going to be accurate somewhere about 70 to 75%, all right? You cannot consistently do better than that. As a trader, you're probably, as a really, really good trader, you're probably going to have a success rate somewhere between 65 and 70%. Most people, as soon as they have one or two losses, they're ready to give up. They're on looking for something new. And that's why 98, probably, I think it's higher. I think it's 99% of traders lose money because, first of all, they don't believe in the tool that you're using. They're not using a reliable tool, okay? And as soon as they have one or two losses, they expect that they should be making, hitting at 80, 90%. And folks, it just doesn't work that way. The way you make money is you control your risk and you try to have your gains, right, higher than your losses. That's the way you do it. But at the same time, you can have the best tools, but you still have to understand how to use those tools and also look at the market conditions that you're in and decide whether your tool that you're using is right for that market condition. All right. The other thing I want to mention before I get into looking at these trades is these numbers here don't really mean anything. All right. They really don't. So a lot of traders are on the internet. They're looking at all these videos and they see one guy's making, $20,000 and everybody wants to follow him because he's the one making the most money. Or you may have another guy making only $200 a day. And they're not going to watch him because they want to follow the guy that's making all the money. Well, let me tell you something. First of all, how much I make or how much somebody else makes should mean and does mean absolutely nothing, okay, in terms of whether you're going to be successful or not. All right. Also, most of the people that are trading that you see making like $20,000 a day, $10,000 a day, I know some of them and they're trading with anywhere between 750 on up, okay, $750,000 on up, all right? So on a percentage basis, that's very, very small. So don't get caught up in the looking at the overall results, okay? Don't look at my results and say, hey, that's great. I'm going to go out tomorrow and I'm going to use his tools and I'm going to start making, $3,800, folks. It's not going to happen, okay? I've been doing this for a long time. I've got what I feel are the best tools. I've developed them myself. They are what I call universal. They work in all markets. But you still have to understand market flow, and you have to understand the condition that you're in and whether you're going to use a particular tool or you're going to stand aside, all right? And that just takes time and discipline. So if you're a new trader, even an experienced trader, these numbers mean absolutely nothing, okay? I don't even like sharing them. And I've talked to I've shared this with my students before, is I don't like sharing this because it can be a big disservice because people only look at these numbers thinking, oh man, that must be the best system in the world. Or, that means I'm going to go out and I'm going to make 3,000. No, that's not going to be reality. So I'm just shooting with you straight. All right. I'm just telling you the way it is. So please, what you should be more concerned about is when you follow me in the morning and you watch me trade in the morning, is ask yourself, is that something that I think that I can do. Can I trade with those tools? Okay. Is that the kind of tool that I'm going to be effective with? So in other words, if you're the type of guy that doesn't want to hold on, that wants to hold on to a trade, maybe overnight, or you want to hold on to it for several hours, then my strategy is not going to be for you. I'm a very short-term trader. I like to get in and get out, scalp. I don't like to hold on to a trade. 5 minutes for me is a long, long, long time. All right. And I've traded like that from the very beginning when I started back in the 80s. I've always been a short-term trader. Why? Because, well, there's a couple reasons. Number one, anytime you hold a trade on overnight, you have undue risk. There's a lot of things that can happen overnight that can affect your trade. Okay? Two, the more time you're in the market, the more susceptible you are to something coming out that could be an adverse effect against your trade. So I think, and also predictability, it's a lot easier to predict what a market's going to do over the next 5 minutes than what it's going to do over the next day or so. So with all that said, that is my style, okay? And this is really for people that want to be day traders or short-term traders or scalpers. That is the style that I like to trade, all right? So let's get into it. It was pretty easy coming into it because the market was up, okay? So this morning, all the indices were up. I think the NASDAQ was down a little bit. But overall, everything was up. The small Dow was up. And I was starting to get a buy on the US or on the E-mini. So I went ahead and I bought. And it came in around 856 is when I entered my position. And so once the market started moving higher and it started pulling back again, I was still seeing all the indices were up. I was still seeing a lot of buying down here. Didn't really have any sharp breaks that I would think that I would have if it wasn't going to hold up. So I went ahead and I was adding. As you can see here, I started adding to my long position as it was coming down, okay? And I think I stopped adding. I think I added a little bit more down here when it came back to my entry. We had this pop up and came down to my entry because I really liked it. And then that was it. And then it finally hit my first profit target. So let me talk about that. I do also, just like in stocks, I do get multiple levels, okay? I get profit targets based on the pattern. And I get more than 1, 2, 3, 4, sometimes I get 5 different patterns that's set up that give me different targets. When I'm trading the indices, I'm always going for my very first target, okay? Always going for my first target because of the leverage. I don't need, okay, to try to get more than that first level. I can do extremely well just going for that closest target. And so whenever I'm trading an indice, or you see me trading natural gas, or you see me trading maybe gold, I'm always going for that very first target unless it's a stock, okay? So picked up 2,700 on that. Then you heard me say natural gas. Let's take a look at natural gas. All right, natural gas. So natural gas, small E-mini, any of these indices, natural gas, crude oil, they're all my favorite markets. RTY, which you're not seeing the mini Russell here, also one of my favorites. Didn't trade the mini Russell. I did trade a little bit of the mini NASDAQ, which is this US tech. So we'll go on that in a minute. But anyway, so we're going to go through natural gas. So basically, I entered natural gas, did get a buy setting up on natural gas. And I wasn't really comfortable with the action, okay? So we had a reversal down here. I didn't wait for a reversal. I went ahead. And when it was just going sideways here and wasn't moving, I was also keeping an eye on crude oil because crude oil was starting to come down. And I didn't like that. I felt it was going to pull natural gas. So I went ahead and got out. This would have been my reversal down here would have been down here. In other words, I would have held it and then reversed, added, and then gone short, which I still would have done okay. But I went ahead and got out. And then when it did hit this reversal point, I went ahead and jumped in on the short. So once again, Einstein projected, I had a level up here. I don't have it written in, but it wouldn't have mattered because it never even got close to it. But when I finally got the reversal, I went ahead and got into the reversal. I did have a target sitting down here. This target was coming in at 22.276, something like that. So I went ahead and I took my short on the reversal. I had a sell pattern coming in here. Projected level on the downside with Einstein. This was my first level. That's why I took my profit. That was it. I was done with natural gas. I did not trade it for the rest of the day. I probably could have, but probably, let's see what it ended up doing. I mean, yeah, it just pretty much stayed down all day. So probably would have hit more targets down here, I'm sure. But like I said, when I'm trading natural gas or I'm trading the E-mini or the mini Russell or anything, I'm only going to go for that first target. And excuse me, I don't have a chart for U.S. Tech, but also on the U.S. Tech, also bought Tech, got out, made a little bit of money in there. So really, once again, the money came, once again, with trading the indices and trading some of these commodities like natural gas. So that's going to be it. That's going to wrap it up. So once again, if you need more information on my tools, there should be a link below this video. Click on it. I talk a little bit more about what I call my behavioral patterns. I talk a little bit more about Einstein so you can kind of get an idea of the tools I develop and kind of how they work. And if you have any questions regarding anything else, best way to get a hold of me is via my website, innovativetradingstrategies.com. Also, check out, I've got tons of videos out there on my YouTube channel, Innovative Trading Strategies. And that's going to wrap it up. So we'll see what happens tomorrow. So tomorrow's what, Tuesday? I don't have a really good feeling here. I really thought today was going to be a down day in the Dow. I really thought it was going to be a down day. I thought it was going to have a really big break. We never saw it. So I think sometime this week we're going to probably have a nice little pullback here, particularly with this banking crisis going on. I was really surprised we didn't see more selling coming in. So I think we're still going to see it, though. I think tomorrow we'll take a look at the Dow. I'm going to take a look at the Dow chart in the morning, and I see there's like 2 or 3 levels down there that I think we can go. There's some price gaps. I'm a big believer in gaps in prices being filled at some point in the future, and some of these have been out there since 2020, so they've been out there for a while. So I think we're going to move lower and start to fill up some of these gaps. So anyway, maybe we'll look at that in the morning, and that's going to wrap it up. Everybody have a good day. We'll see you first thing tomorrow morning, and then tomorrow night we'll go ahead and do another recap on how we did for the day. Take care.